Welcome back to Main Street Living, Cheryl. We both know that you travel a lot. In any of your travels, have you visited a distillery anywhere?
I sure have. Asheville, North Carolina was the most recent one.
Wow.
That does not surprise me. Cheryl does love to travel, so travel goes well with alcohol, as does Wintertime. It's the perfect opportunity to try out some new recipes. So here to talk to us about that, we have owner and founder of Seven Caves Distillery in San Diego, Geoff Longenecker, to talk to us a little bit about something new they're working on. Hint, it involves gin. So Geoff, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Seven Caves is a small craft distillery based in San Diego, and I am the distiller and owner and janitor and mail boy and all these different things. So
you do it all.
Today, I get to talk. Last time I talked to you guys, we were making hand sanitizer, so now we're back in the world of making gin. And I'm a giant fan of gin. I love introducing people who are kind of afraid of what gin used to be, like the pine tree flavors. I love introducing people to what gin now is. And the one we're going to talk about today is one that I make out of, it's for Christmas time. It's for holiday season. So it's essentially a mulling spice inspired gin. It's made with all the great things that are in mulling spice. So think orange and cinnamon and allspice and cloves and nutmeg and all these great things. I distill it on the still that's right behind me over here, and then throw it into a bourbon barrel. When it comes off the still, it comes off at about 175, 180 proof. Looks very clear like this. After a couple of months in the barrel, it's clear. It's still clear, but it gets that nice little sheen, a little bit of that bourbon finish. So what's cool about this one is it's all about the holidays. You know, it's that mulling spice that sits on your stove, hopefully all December long, and it just, the whole house smells great. And hey, it's gin.
Sorry, Cheryl, I just have to ask, you said the pine tree thing here. My first alcohol experience was actually gin. And for the purpose of the story, I was 21, and it was awful. It tasted like a tree. So I'm glad that you made something else.
So these are juniper berries. Juniper, you know, you've probably seen the trees, the berries grow on the trees, and that's what is the defining flavor of gin. Now, it doesn't have to only be juniper. The more juniper you put in, obviously, the more piney it'll be. I mean, it's delicious. If you ever have like the London Dry Styles, that's a piney gin. But those of us who play in the craft world get to experiment with a lot of different flavors, and the winter gin is just one of mine. So
it's so fun that you're doing this, because I'm usually sticking to vodka or rum, but now that you're talking about gin, I mean, mulled wine is something good. Why not put those spices in gin? And I hear too that you can use that in certain food recipes, right?
Oh yeah. So in fact, about a week ago, or not a week ago, last Friday, I did a cooking demonstration on Zoom, using my winter gin as the base of a bread pudding sauce.
Wow.
So you can't really do that with vodka, because vodka is just like white. It's just like white bread. But when you add all these different flavors into it, you get all basically gin is juniper flavored vodka. So when you add all these flavors, then you get all these interesting things that you can then play with other, you know, these gin, especially the winter gins, really great in like a bread pudding sauce, but then the cocktails, you know, typical gin and tonics, or you can get a little bit more outlandish and add it to hot apple cider, or add it into like a hot buttered rum, but use gin. It's delicious.
Geoff, now my chest indicates that I have not drank any gin before. No hair on my chest.
There you go.
What type of drinks can you make using this winter gin?
So this winter gin it's kind of like, it depends. I mean, I'm in Southern California, so when it's, you know, it can be 90 degrees in December here. So gin and tonics are ideal. Instead of maybe lemon or lime, you put a squeeze of orange into it. But then you can also add it into hot teas. It's really good. You know, if you want a hot cocktail, I'm doing my next cocktail class in December is all hot cocktails. So I do that quite a bit. So we'll do, exactly.
You got Cheryl with that one.
So there's all kinds of fun hot toddies that you can make with it. Just think like all those great mulling spice flavors with lemon and honey. It really works well.
Well, so also tell us a little bit about rum barrel maple syrup, because that sounds up my alley.
Holiday time. So that's the number one thing in my shop this time of year. To the left of me right here is a whole bunch of these barrels that I put rum and whiskeys in. And the maple syrup, this little guy, is a rum barrel aged maple syrup. It's a really delicious maple syrup. We age it for a few months in our rum barrels. It's different than bourbon barrels. The rum really pairs better than bourbon does with maple, and it's awesome. It's such a delicious product. I can very conservatively say it's the best maple syrup you'll ever have. So
yes, I'm so excited to try that syrup. And before we go, quickly tell us about your online cocktail classes and where people can find you.
Absolutely. It's free. Go to the7caves.com. And our next one is on December 18th, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Please join. It's all free.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to have to get out there, take a field trip. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anybody's welcome. Cheers.
All right. Cheers. We've got more Main Street Living after this. Stick around.